The matchmaker's scroll lands on your father's table like a death sentence wrapped in silk. You're 14 years old in 1542 Sengoku, Japan. And somewhere across the mountains, a man you've never met just bought your entire future for 300 koku of rice and a military alliance. Congratulations, your womb has been traded for political leverage. Your mother says nothing. She just hands you a kaiken, a dagger small enough to hide in your sleeve, and teaches you where to cut your own throat. If enemy soldiers breach the walls, she whispers, you have exactly 3 seconds to decide between honor and hell. Welcome to womanhood and your life as a samurai's wife. You're born in 1528 to a minor samurai family in Owari province, the third daughter of a man who needed sons. Your father looks at you once, grunts, and walks back to his war maps. Your mother, she knows your value immediately. You're a bargaining chip with a pulse. By 5, your training begins. You learn to kneel in seiza until your legs scream, to pour tea without a ripple, to arrange flowers like your life depends on it. Because it does. A clumsy wife embarrasses her husband. An embarrassed samurai loses face. The math is simple. Your grace equals his honor equals your survival. But here's the twist nobody mentions in the etiquette scrolls. They also hand you a naginata, 6 feet of curved blade on a pole. The weapon of women who might need to defend empty castles while their husbands die gloriously somewhere else. Your arms shake holding it. Your instructor, a widow with dead eyes, shows no mercy. The enemy won't care that you're tired, she says, cracking her pole against your ribs. Again. Your only friend is Yuki, daughter of your father's retainer. You practice together, sneaking extra sessions after dark, giggling at your clumsy strikes. She dreams of marrying a poet. You dream of marrying someone kind. Both dreams are equally ridiculous, and somewhere deep down, you both know it. At 13, your eyebrows are shaved and redrawn with lamp soot across your forehead, the mark of a woman ready for marriage. Soon after, they'll blacken your teeth with ohaguro, iron fillings and vinegar painted on until your smile gleams like lacquered night. Beauty, they call it. You look in the bronze mirror and don't recognize yourself. The girl who played with Yuki is gone. In her place stands a painted asset, waiting to be deployed. The omiai, the formal meeting, lasts exactly 1 cup of tea. Your future husband, Takeda Nobuyoshi, is 28, battle-scarred, and looks at you the way a farmer looks at livestock. Healthy enough, adequate hips for childbearing, acceptable. He nods once to your father. The deal is done. Nobody asks your opinion because you don't have one. Your wedding procession stretches half a mile. Servants carrying your dowry of lacquered boxes, silk kimonos, and that naginata your mother insists you bring. An emblem of your duty, she calls it. Translation, you might need to kill someone someday. The palanquin carries you toward a castle full of strangers who will judge your every breath. Your new home smells of old incense and fresh suspicion. Your mother-in-law, Lady Takeda, inspects you like merchandise. Too thin, shoulders too narrow. We'll see if she can bear sons, she announces to no one in particular. You stand perfectly still, smile perfectly empty, and feel the walls closing in. That first night, you kneel in the bridal chamber for 3 hours, waiting. The candles burn to nothing. Shadows stretch across the walls like grasping fingers. When the door finally slides open and your husband enters, nothing really changes. He doesn't speak, doesn't even look at your face. He smells of sake and battlefield smoke. His hands are rough, calloused from sword grips. They don't ask permission. You stare at the ceiling beam and count the wood grains while your body becomes territory to be conquered. When he finishes, he leaves without a word. Without looking back. You don't cry. Crying is for girls who still believe they matter. In the morning, a servant changes the bloodied sheets and says nothing. You learn your first lesson as a wife. This is not a marriage. It's a transaction. He provides protection and status. You provide heirs and household management. Love? That's for peasants and poets. At 15, your first pregnancy ends in blood at 4 months. At 16, the second dies 3 days after birth. A boy, perfect and blue and silent. Your mother-in-law's disappointment could freeze fire. Your husband says nothing, but his visits grow shorter, colder. You've failed your primary function, and everyone knows it. The years blur into a fog of hope and hemorrhage. 17, 18, 19. Each pregnancy announced with cautious optimism. Each ending in blood or silence, or tiny bodies that never drew breath. You stop counting after the 5th. Your mother-in-law stops pretending to care after the 7th. Your husband takes a concubine. A merchant's daughter with wide hips and a forgettable face. She fails too. Small comfort, but you take what you can get. By 25, the whispers have calcified into fact. Lady Takeda's daughter-in-law is cursed. barren, broken. You kneel through the accusations, absorb the remedies, bitter herbs, temple prayers, a monk who claims to extract demons through smoke and chanting. Nothing works. You begin to believe them. Meanwhile, the Sengoku chaos swirls outside your walls. Your husband rides to war 3-4 times a year. You manage the castle alone. 50 servants, supply chains, disputes, taxes. When raiders test your defenses, you stand on the walls in borrowed armor, naginata in hand, and watch them retreat. They expected weakness. They found a woman with nothing left to lose. Word comes that Yuki died in childbirth. Your only friend gone. You're not allowed to mourn publicly. Too much work to do. Too many appearances to maintain. That night, you sit alone in the garden and weep until dawn. Then rise, paint your face, and become the perfect wife again. When you turn 27, the pregnancy that nearly kills you finally produces life. 40 hours of labor, hemorrhaging so badly the midwife sends for a priest. But when the screaming stops, there's crying. Not yours, but hers. A daughter. You name her Hana, meaning flower, because she bloomed from soil soaked in your blood. Your mother-in-law spits on the floor when she hears it's a girl. Your husband doesn't visit for a month. But you look at this tiny creature with her father's jaw and your mother's eyes, and something cracks open in your chest. For the first time in your life, you love something more than you fear death. At 29, another pregnancy. Stillborn. At 31, finally, a son. Your mother-in-law weeps with joy, already planning his future, his education, his glory. 11 days later, fever takes him. You watch Lady Takeda hold his tiny corpse, rocking back and forth, making sounds no human should make. She never recovers. Over the following months, she stops eating, stops speaking, stops leaving her chamber. You call it what it is. A woman who staked everything on grandsons, watching her investment die in her arms. She follows him to the grave before winter ends, cursing your barren, daughter-bearing womb. You don't mourn her. You inherit her armor. Hana survives. Hana thrives. And in her, you pour every dream you've ever buried. You begin training Hana in secret when she's 6. Not just tea ceremony and flower arrangement. The naginata, the kaiken, the places on a man's body where a blade ends things quickly. Why do I need to learn this? She asks, struggling to hold the wooden practice bowl. You kneel to her level. Because someday, someone might come for you, and I won't always be there to stop them. She grows beautiful, too beautiful. By 12, marriage offers arrive like vultures circling. The Lord's third son, the clan's spare heir. Your husband sees opportunity. You see your daughter disappearing into the same gilded cage that trapped you. For the first time in your marriage, you fight back. She's too young. Her health is delicate. She needs more training. Excuses stack like sandbags against a flood. Your husband grows suspicious. Then violent. One night, he strikes you across the face. You bow, apologize. The next morning, resume teaching Hana exactly where to aim if a man raises his hand. The war turns against your clan. Battles lost. Alliances crumbling. Your husband returns from campaign changed. Harder, quieter. Drinking sake until he can't stand. The whispers start. Lord Takeda has lost his lord's favor. Disgrace looms like storm clouds on the horizon. The messenger arrives on a winter morning, 1570. Your husband's final battle ended in disaster. Worse than death, he retreated, fled while his men died. The Lord's verdict is absolute. Seppuku, ritual suicide by disembowelment. The only death that can restore a samurai's shattered honor within 3 days. Or the entire clan faces extinction. You watch him prepare for death in the same room where he never once said he loved you. He's calm now, almost peaceful. Take care of Hana, he says, the only soft words he's ever spoken to you. Then he opens his belly, and his second takes his head, and you are a widow at 42. Custom demands you follow him. Knees bound, blade to the neck, cutting your own throat to preserve honor. Your hand trembles on the kaiken, but Hana stands in the doorway, 15 years old and shaking, and you cannot leave her alone in this world of wolves. You choose disgrace over death. The clan never forgives you. Remarriage to a minor retainer, a man who needs your management skills more than your bloodline, keeps you and Hana fed but strips away whatever status remained. You've fallen from castle to cottage, from lady to survivor, but your daughter lives. Some trades are worth everything. The siege begins on the 8th day of the 10th month, 1578. Enemy banners blacken the horizon. 20,000 soldiers surrounding the castle where you've taken refuge with 200 other women and children. The men are already dead or scattered. Help isn't coming. Everyone knows how this ends. Hana is 23 now, unmarried because the wars swallowed every suitor, beautiful in her grandmother's armor with your naginata in her hands. Around you, mothers are making the same calculation you made once before. But this time, there's no door to walk through, no disgrace to choose. The enemy offers no surrender, only capture, violation, sale to foreign traders, or worse. Mother, Hana's voice cuts through the chaos. I know what we have to do. She's known since she was 6, since you first placed that wooden pole in her hands. This was always the final lesson. You just prayed you'd never have to teach it. Together, you helped the other women prepare how to bind their ankles for dignity, where to cut for speed, how to hold their daughters steady. 200 souls making the same impossible choice. When the cannon fire pauses at dusk, you and Hana kneel facing each other in the inner chamber. Her hands don't shake. You trained them too well. She bows to you, the deep bow of a daughter to a mother. And for one moment, you see everything. The girl who laughed during naginata practice. The woman who defended walls beside you. The life she deserved but will never have. You taught me to be strong, she whispers. I taught you to survive. You reply, this is the last form that takes. You raise the kaiken together. The enemy soldiers breach the walls at midnight. They find the courtyard silent. 200 women and children arranged in perfect rows. Dignity preserved in death. In the inner chamber, a mother and daughter kneel facing each other, hands still intertwined, faces peaceful. And if you think surviving a samurai's home was brutal, wait until you see what it took to arm that world. Click here for your life as a samurai swordsmith, where every blade is born in fire, debt, and blood.